In the 1970s, there was the boom of disaster movies. Big-budget films with big-budget actors about natural or man-made disasters, with groundbreaking effects and box office success. However, by the end of the decade, the genre was in a noticeable decline and it wouldn't recover until the 1990s. While it's hard to say at what point it started to go downhill, most people like to point to the 1978 epic disaster, The Swarm. One of the dumbest movies ever made, this monstrosity was financed by the master of disaster himself, Owen Allen, the producer of Towering Inferno and The Poseidon Adventure. But the catch is that he also directed it, and let's just say that his works as director aren't exactly the best. Perhaps he should have been given better training on how to direct a good movie. So let's watch the black sheep of disaster movies. This is The Swarm. The movie opens at a secret base where we see soldiers arrive, wearing gas masks and armed with guns. They're actually here to play a game of paintball. The orange team versus the white team. I'm betting €50 on the orange team. They find the underground base full of dead bodies with no signs of violence. The rescue operation is being led by Richard Widmark, the first of many celebrities who prostituted themselves for this train wreck.
Who the hell are you?
I'm Michael Caine.
How'd you get into the complex?
It's a complicated story. It starts a year ago, but let's skip that. Let me tell you about last night and this morning.
That's Michael Caine's performance, being calm and suave.
Sir, unidentified force, range 30 miles.
Closing from what direction?
Not closing, sir, outgoing.
Some helicopters head to the Swarm, where we see the monsters of this film, killer bees.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees!
Oh my God, bees, millions of bees! We're out of control!
Houston, we have a fucking problem.
I saw the swarms coming up early this morning. There were so many, they almost blotted out the sun. I followed them, but when I got here, they were gone.
Who are you?
I'm an entomologist.
Are you trying to tell me bees killed the men here?
Yes, just like they knocked your two choppers down.
Yeah, these must be the nicest bees in the world, as they haven't left any signs of stings on the dead bodies. Their skin doesn't even look slightly red or swollen.
And it's damn rare if anybody dies from bee stings.
Then they have to be African bees then, don't they?
Whether they're from Africa or not, this makes no sense. Millions of bees attacking at once and not one of them leaves a mark on the human body? No need for the beekeepers to cover their bodies. Let them sting you and the skin will still look the same.
General. Thank God you got here, sir.
We meet another survivor, a scientist played by Catherine Ross.
2 of them are dead. The other 4 are still critical. I need antitoxins.
Our tests indicate that cardiopep normalizes irregular heartbeat.
Well, that's the problem, sir. I don't really know. None of the usual procedures seem to be helping.
We cut to a family having a picnic and becoming the next victims. So long, Mum and Dad. I'm going to lock myself in the car and leave you out to die in slow motion.
Open my eyes! My eyes! Ah! Ah!
The kid suddenly knows how to drive and goes home to watch as much TV as he wants now that his annoying parents aren't around anymore.
Dr. Crane, the President has instructed me to place you in direct command of all operations relating to this present emergency. General Slater, you will provide Dr. Crane with full cooperation, without question.
You're joking. This guy doesn't even sound American. I am Michael Caine. Respect me.
The file contains the names, addresses, and telephone numbers of everyone I want flown in. Just tell them the war that I've always talked about has finally started.
I am declaring the war on bees! In a nearby town, we see another group of characters played by old Hollywood actors Fred McMurray, Ben Johnson, and Olivia de Havilland.
No, I was just thinking how corny your banner reads.
Look, nobody asked you to leave Houston and come here to retire, you know?
Now, Clarence, that's not nice.
Well, we've been doing just fine with our flower festival for years.
That's why they flock here by the thousands each year, to see the parade and all our beautiful flower floats.
It's surprising to see these actors still working long after their golden years.
Now look, Felix.
The kid made it all the way there? Fuck driving school. I guess being extremely nervous makes you a good driver. Michael and Catherine go to see the kid who's hallucinating.
There's a bee here!
Listen to me. There is no bee in this room. No, there isn't.
It's nothing more than a shitty effect.
Now, reach out, and it will go away. Please trust me. There. You see, Paul?
Definitely not real.
How many times was he stung?
I removed 2 stingers from him.
We get the arrival of several scientists. The first one played by Henry Fonda, who plays the character who is wheelchair bound.
So you still refuse to oil this thing, huh?
I don't intend to be stuck in this damn thing forever. I'm studying Tibetan levitation. A few hundred years or so, I expect to be able to just float around.
He's hoping to save his career by floating out of this stump and landing into a better movie.
You go on now. I'll handle this part and call you when I'm ready.
Henry Fonda studies the clean, non-decomposing bodies to find answers.
She's been slinging hash at Pete's long enough.
He listens to a recording that plays the moment right before the bee attack.
What alarm system is that?
It's a fallback system in case we lose the phone lines or radio contact.
Remember, that sound will be an important plot point later on.
Jerry, you hear what I'm hearing? Jerry, behind you. My God!
He organizes a meeting to explain how the African bee was able to reach American soil. The most likely cause is bad writing.
Now, I was one of the first people sent to Brazil to study the situation when the African killer bee began proliferating there. There is no evidence whatsoever that they've yet crossed Central America, let alone arrived here.
Apparently, they came directly across the Caribbean from Venezuela.
But wouldn't they drown from going into the open sea?
There have been 3 hurricanes in that ocean tract in the past season. Any one of them could have swept the bees in.
Oh, so a tornado transported them all the way there. What is this nonsense? Sharknado only with bees? No, actually that would be a more interesting bad movie. Bee-nado. The kid from before somehow recovers and goes off with his friends on their bikes. This must be the strongest kid ever. They're showing Towering Inferno in that cinema. Okay?
Morning, Rita.
Morning, Mr. Austin.
I'll get it, Rita. No, I reckon she's better off here pretending it never happened.
Well, hello, 2 characters who appear for the first time on screen. Who are you?
I bet I can guess what school teacher them roses belongs to.
You don't need no crystal ball for that.
Yep, the way I hear it is, Maureen is favoring you over Clarence.
By the way, isn't this movie supposed to be about killer bees?
Maureen,
Morning, Felix.
got you some roses.
Oh. Your roses speak for you. Most eloquently.
Then there is hope for me.
Who cares about this? We're already an hour in, and so far the bees have only appeared twice in the first 20 minutes, leaving the other 40 minutes to feature nothing but exposition, and too many pointless characters who are not the least bit interesting. I was promised killer bees, so why is it not living up to its potential? Okay, so the Goonies go to where the bees are at last and decide to kill them. Again, these are like the smartest kids ever. They're making the military look pathetic. So just when you thought it was getting interesting, we cut back to Fred McMurray proposing to Olivia de Havilland.
Maureen, I want you to marry me.
Oh, Clarence, do sit down.
You just name the date and I'll make all the arrangements.
Killer bees, not old people love. Which movie are you trying to show us?
All right. I'll give you both my answer before the end of this school term.
Why do I get the feeling that Olivia was tricked into appearing in this disastrous soap opera? Maybe her strange sister Joan Fontaine was behind this, I don't know.
Look. The bees. They're heading towards Marysville.
The bees head towards the town, killing everyone in their path. The slow motion really shows just how badly acted the deaths are. Oh, I'm flipping my arms. Ah, I have been stung by an invisible insect. Bee stings are a hell of a drug. Hundreds of people die from the attack, with Richard Widmark suggesting drastic solutions.
Your Dr. Hubbard was out collecting live Africans. When that swarm finds out some of their friends have been taken captive, they might come back to Marysville.
Are you endowing these bees with human motives?
I always credit my enemy, no matter what he may be, with equal intelligence.
Wow, words of stupid wisdom.
With radar and pesticides, I track down and destroy every African swarm in this country, wherever they are.
Now, why in the hell would you let them do a sick thing like that?
But how will you prevent the wind from carrying your pesticides across cities, parks, farms, and schools? Well, we'll do it my way. Now give it a chance!
In the laboratory, the scientists play as astronauts and experiment on several bees in order to find a cure. But unfortunately, they don't have enough time, not enough clues, and not enough information.
Insufficient data.
Yeah, you never fucking know the answer when it's important.
About the baby, you're both fine. With everything happening around here, I haven't had a chance to tell you how sorry I am about Jerry.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah. Too much melodrama, not enough bees, and I don't give a fuck. The town is getting evacuated with most people traveling by train, including the three romantic stooges.
Imagine having such a natural phenomenon do something to it.
The pregnant Patty Duke tries to board the train, but goes into labor at the last minute. Very important storyline for this character who only appeared like 2 or 3 times.
What's wrong, Maureen?
Got a sudden feeling I'll never see Marysville again. Or any of my children.
I was looking at the bright side of things.
Sure, we'll be home soon and this'll all seem like a bad dream to you.
I suppose that's so.
Nobody in this group is traumatized by all the deaths they have witnessed.
You know you can tell a lot about a man by the way he shuffles cards.
Thank you, Clarence.
Wasn't meant to be a compliment, Felix.
You know, I just realized something. This movie has too many storylines. The killer bees, the Goonies, the love triangle, and the pregnant waitress. I feel like we're watching more than 5 different movies. It's the same effect when you're watching the TV and you keep zapping between different channels over and over and over and over again. We see that the train drivers haven't closed the windows for some reason, allowing the bees to get inside. This is not caused by nature fighting back. This is caused by human idiots. And the train was made out of dynamite for some reason. This is the last time we see these characters, so I assume they're dead. Speaking of death, the Goonies kid also succumbs to the sting and dies. But look on the bright side, Patty Duke has given birth and is now in a relationship with the Doctor. Let's keep adding them to the list of characters who really didn't add anything.
Everything we tried has failed. Our last hope is your mass antidote.
We cut back to Henry Fonda, who is developing a vaccine against the African bee sting. But since he can't find any volunteers, he decides to test the serum on himself.
I'm going to inject myself with the same input of venom I'd received from the stings of 6 toxic bees. That's double the amount that anybody's been able to take and survive.
Wouldn't it be safer to start off with a less deadly venom and then slowly build up, instead of starting off with an already dangerous poison? You're taking too much of an unnecessary risk. That juice is delicious!
Heartbeat rising rapidly. My arm feels like it's strapped to my side.
He injects himself with the antidote, or so I think. It cuts away from the needle, and when we see it again, it's half empty.
Dropping now. Good.
Dr. Krim!
The antidote works. My God, it works.
Don't celebrate too soon, or something bad might happen, as in now.
Heart rate rising again. 140, 150.
Oh my God.
Well, did it yourself. I'm out. How have I sunk this low in my career? Henry Fonda dies in probably the most unnecessary and embarrassing way possible, but don't worry, he'll redeem himself with On Golden Pond.
Now they're moving toward Houston faster than expected.
We'll have to evacuate the towns and close the factories.
Well, I can tell you right now, we're going to have trouble with that nuclear power plant. No way they'll shut down voluntarily.
I'll fly in and try to jawbone some sense into him.
Wolfman goes to speak to a nuclear power plant's manager, played by Jose Ferrer, in a completely pointless cameo.
What's more, there's nothing here that could possibly attract those bees of yours. Billions of dollars have been spent to make these nuclear plants safe. Fail-safe. The odds against anything going wrong are astronomical, Doctor.
Oh my God, the thing I just said wouldn't happen has just happened. You see, this is what happens when you have stupid people running Sector 7G.
Please arrange protective crating with the 2 oscilloscopes and personally fly with them to Houston.
The nuclear explosion doesn't kill the bees. It probably turned them into radioactive supervillains or some bullshit. So Richard Widmark finally suggests military action.
Estimating that more than 600,000 people have already been evacuated from Houston.
They head to Houston, where the army has expanded their battlefield for paintball. I'm still betting on the Orange team.
Very impressive.
By tomorrow, there'll be no more Africans, at least not in the Houston sector. This is really a dress rehearsal to set procedure for any future African challenges.
If I was watching this scene out of context, I would have thought he was being racist.
They're coming through.
They have learned to live with it. They become immune to any pesticide.
Since all of their previous plans to stop the bees have sucked, they resort to the most desperate measure of bedding them with flamethrowers. Burn, burn, fire purifies everything. All the vehicles in this movie are highly explosive. No wonder they were decommissioned. Nothing can stop these creatures. At this point, they're going to take over the world, creating a parallel universe where B-movie never existed.
Helena? Helena?
Catherine suffers a relapse, and to no one's surprise, she also has visions. Look, no matter how many times you show it, it's never going to scare anyone.
Hello? What's this? We've not had this before. Look at this, Doctor.
But Michael Caine recognizes a sound similar to the one they heard at the desert base early on.
The sonic alarm system happens to be an exact duplicate of the duet between the queen bee and the young queen bee challenging her domain.
Then you're saying our alarm system attracted the bees into the complex.
That's right, and we'll use this very sound to pull them out of Houston.
But the bees managed to get inside the building. Oh, I'm sorry that you were in the way.
How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned?
I'm slowly disappearing from existence. No wonder so many people are dying if they keep killing each other by accident.
There's no time for that. Let's go. Put this round you.
Michael Caine and Catherine Ross manage to escape, since the bees aren't attacking them because they are the lead actors, so instead they attack everyone else.
Load the choppers with the sound horns and spread the big oil slick over the Gulf. Acknowledge.
They activate the sonic sound in the helicopters to lure the bees into the sea. This is not going to... Oh wait, it does work. Well, that's the end. I am a standard... Oh, so it wasn't enough to drown them, they also had to nuke the ocean.
Did we finally beat them?
I don't know. But we did gain time. And if we use it wisely, the world might just survive.
So after hearing your everyday cliche message about humanity, the movie finally ends, and get a load of this. We get a disclaimer telling us that the African bee in this film has nothing to do with real-life bees. Yes, because they think audiences are stupid enough to not remember something they learned in primary school. Or maybe adults are really that stupid because this movie is an embarrassment. It may have great production values, but it sucks in pretty much everything else. It suffers from Irwin Allen's questionable directing, it's way too long with a lot of boring bits that drag on. Half the actors have nothing to add, making their appearances completely pointless, the characters are beyond inept, and the story takes itself way too seriously. At least Roland Emmerich's disaster films like 2012 were earnest about their inaccurate science. Here, this feels like a B-movie that was given a large budget and too many famous actors. While I can't say that this is the movie that killed the disaster genre, I can see why it's so despised. I am a standard critic and go back to learning science.